Welcome to the NSE3 Fortisiem product training. These are the topics that we will explore in this course, beginning with a product overview. After completing this lesson, you should be able to identify the business drivers and security challenges that organizations currently face, understand the business drivers as to why organizations are using SIEM tools in their efforts to overcome these challenges, describe key product features of Fortisiem above other SIEM options, identify the sales strategies and competitive advantages of Fortisiem. SIEM is an acronym that was coined by Mark Nicolette from Gartner. Essentially, SIEM combines what were previously two methods of analyzing log data from network elements. SIEM, or Security Information Management, collects data into a central repository for trend analysis. It also provides automated reporting for compliance and centralized reporting. Whereas SIEM, or Security Event Management, centralizes the storage and interpretation of logs and allows near real-time analysis, which enables security personnel to take defensive actions more quickly. This is also known as Incident Response, or IR. By bringing these two functions together, SIEM systems are focused on providing faster identification, analysis, isolation, and recovery of security threats and events. A key overarching function of SIEMs are to help compliance managers to monitor and validate that they and their respective organizations are fulfilling conformance and regulatory and compliance requirements. One of the many driving factors in SIEM adoption, from organizations of all sizes and verticals, is that they are facing increasing sources and types of threats to network and critical asset security. Despite many IT teams' best efforts with their respective network operations and security operations tools, breaches continue to persist. The Ponemon Institute issued their second annual study on exchanging cyber threat intelligence with data collected from 692 IT professionals. When asked, "Has your organization experienced a material security breach that involved an attack that compromised the network or enterprise systems?" 47% of respondents said yes. The average number of days to detect a malicious attack is 256 days. This number varies depending on the polling agency, but on average, breaches take many months to discover. The good news is that the average is lower than the previous year, but on the downside. However, 81% of these breaches were actually discovered by a third party, not by the organization that was breached. 58% were by regulatory bodies, card companies, and banks. 12% were reported by law enforcement agencies. 4% were reported by consumers. Gartner has gone so far as to say that breaches and attacks are inevitable, which underscores the need for organizations to find better tools in monitoring, managing, and protecting their network's security, and is especially critical for those organizations who are required to comply with regulatory standards associated with protecting network available assets. Breaches have far-reaching impacts that are very difficult for organizations to recover from. Target stores are a great example. Their highly publicized breach has been estimated to have cost them close to $1 billion. Organizations experience lost revenue due to customers leaving and taking their business to competitors. Breaches are also detrimental to the organization's brand and reputation because they have broken the trust their customers had in them. Impacts are also seen on internal and external service level agreements and mean times to repair, which can result in costly penalties. Aside from shrinking revenue dollars, breaches often result in fines by regulatory compliance agencies and generate expensive lawsuits. Unhappy customers and suppliers not only leave, they also frequently tell others of how they have been wronged, which creates an even worse advertising nightmare. Productivity suffers because workers are not able to do their jobs as systems and the tools they need are impacted. This is why many boards are now getting involved in security strategies, and why CISO roles are becoming more about business strategy. As we have seen, the likelihood of a breach is increasingly very real for many organizations. It is in part due to their current inefficient, siloed approach that commonly exists in many IT organizations. The Network Operations Center, or NOC, is primarily focused on network performance, availability, and uptime. The Security Operations Center, or SOC, is focused on network security and compliance focused. Each department generally employs a wide variety of systems and tools that are rarely integrated or correlated into a cohesive and comprehensive view of the organization's overall network. All this adds up to a complex monitoring and reporting environment, which increases the likelihood that threats and breaches go undetected for some time. Exposure to risk increases as an ever-growing list of sources and types of threats, such as the Internet of Things or IoT, are introduced. When a breach occurs, this poses daunting challenges to many organizations. The pain points which many organizations face is that the current method is often reactive as opposed to proactive. Obtaining the forensics needed to identify the root cause of a breach requires a significant number of IT resources to collect the data from the disparate systems they manage. These IT representatives are pulled away from their normal day-to-day duties, impacting productivity as they go about the tedious manual correlation of data from each department's systems. SIM tools are common in organizations that need to manage against compliance standards, as these tools provide the audit data required to validate their efforts. And SIM tools are also gaining favor in organizations that are looking for better and faster ways to detect and manage threats and breaches. Gartner's critical capabilities for a SIM are depicted in this table. These are the basic criteria that Gartner considers a complete SIM solution should have. I think we can agree these are important capabilities and why these capabilities are common to most SIM solutions on the market today. Of course, Fortisiem performs every one of these functions quite well. However, in today's environment of an ever-changing threat landscape, as mentioned with things like IoT and cloud, these capabilities on their own are not enough and will not easily scale for future needs. Fortisiem goes way beyond these basic SIM functions with unique, patented, and truly superior competitive differentiators. The underlying principle of Fortisiem is to provide organizations with actionable analytics that are derived and correlated from dynamic data sources and provide deep context on the root causes. The primary goal is to enable organizations to increase the speed by which they can detect threats and breaches, and also remediate and prevent future threats. The characteristics that make Fortisiem truly unique in the market are patented real-time analytics, real-time asset and configuration discovery, purpose-built to support rapid scalability, a multi-tenant architecture, rapid, flexible third-party technology integrations, the industry's only SIM on the market that has a seamless platform. That platform's automated network and security operations, and able to cross-correlate both security event data with network and infrastructure performance data, thereby providing SOC and NOC analytics in real time. All of this is delivered through a single pane of glass. Fortisiem is an integral part of the security fabric. But what is it and what are the features? Fortisiem is an appliance that gives comprehensive visibility into the network by collecting, correlating, and analyzing logs and device data, detecting anomalies and threats, and automating response and remediation from a single pane of glass. The data collected is extensive and includes all network assets. Fortisiem can use this information to produce reports for compliance and other purposes. Fortisiem is very scalable, and you can easily extend it as the network grows. It has a unified platform, supports multi-latency, and uses role-based access control. The Fortisiem's defense posture is not only enhanced by the sharing of intelligence within the security fabric, but benefits from the latest threat intelligence from FortiGuard. As soon as you deploy it, Fortisiem performs real-time discovery of the devices on the network and uses built-in intelligence to classify those devices by type, rather than simply presenting a long list of anonymous IP addresses. Further, it shows the linkages between devices in a topology and organizes devices by their type so that it can immediately apply rules. Going forward, Fortisiem can detect configuration changes and display what changed. This is useful for security and network analysts. It also provides information necessary for compliance reporting. We can interact with Active Directory and other directory services to get user information, including roles and permissions. Fortisiem can then marshal this information to raise alerts should a user attempt to access a device or information to which they have no permission. Alerts can be raised when critical files are changed using Fortisiem Windows Agent. Now, after you identify devices and linkages, it's important to associate them with the business services they power. That's how you can monitor and meet your service levels for IT and end users. You can create business services with any combination of devices and applications that are important to you. The Business Services Dashboard provides a status overview of all business services, which can be helpful to NOC or a CSO/CIO. You can then drill down to see what is impacting your service in the event of an incident. Further, alerts and even tickets can be triggered in order to ensure that the issue is dealt with quickly. In addition to IT issues, security incidents can also impact service and represent a risk to data privacy and confidentiality. Fortisiem is the only vendor that has a distributed real-time event correlation engine. This process occurs in memory, in streaming mode, without ever touching a disk, which greatly increases speed and efficiency. Fortisiem applies real-time security analytics to identify threats. These analytics include user and entity behavior, UEBA. The analytics also include indicators of compromise, such as known malicious IP addresses from FortiGuard Labs that help identify a real or impending compromise. Just as importantly, Fortisiem now includes mitigation libraries that, when enabled, trigger an automated response when an incident is identified. You can apply this security monitoring to devices of all types. If you have a new device with log formats we do not support, you can add a new parser and immediately parse these logs. Fortisiem has a UI to help you do this, or you can just upload XML. Your analysts can learn how to do this, or you can engage our professional services. Fortisiem ships with more than 2,000 built-in reports that cover a range of functional areas, such as availability, performance, change, security, compliance. Fortisiem also includes hundreds of compliance reports, which cover a wide range of industry regulations, security standards, and more. These reports help your customers assess their compliance with regulations at any point in time, rather than once a year when the auditors arrive. You can customize reports or write them from scratch. You can schedule reports to run at a specified time and send an email to a recipient, or you can run them on demand. Fortisiem also includes a custom report builder feature to provide greater customization of the report format. The end user can customize many areas of Fortisiem, including parsers. Many parsers are included out of the box. Custom parsers can be created to support custom syslog formats. Performance monitors. Custom performance monitors are supported for monitoring custom OIDs, commands, and more. Customizable front-end features. Rules and reports. Many rules and reports are included out of the box. You can customize rules and reports. You can write new custom rules and reports. Dashboards. You can customize dashboards to meet specific monitoring requirements. Widget-based dashboards are driven by inline reports, enabling users to integrate custom reports into dashboard widgets. The Fortisiem's APIs make it easy to integrate with other technology solutions, including pre-built context that is already available from hundreds of sources and types of network elements, as shown in the list. Log and event data sources go beyond routers, switches, and firewalls to things such as the organization's voice-over IP servers that are associated with their office phone network and environmental devices such as UPS systems and HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. And with current integrations into external threat feed intelligence, such as current details about potentially risky malware domains, IPs, URLs, hashes, and Tor nodes. All these serve as elements for cross-correlation when identifying potential threats. Fortisiem APIs are built to make it easy to add new analytic sources, such as network hardware and applications, including those from competing companies, such as Cisco, Palo Alto, and Checkpoint devices. In addition to the ability to gather information from outside sources of log and event data, Fortisiem APIs have enabled two-way integrations with help desk and ticketing systems, such as current out-of-the-box support for ServiceNow, ConnectWise, and Remedy. Two-way integration means that Fortisiem can both receive data from these tools as well as send meaningful data to them, such as automatically generating a trouble ticket when an alert or alarm is triggered. And when the issue is resolved, the ticket can automatically be closed. With ServiceNow, who also has a CMDB tool built in, Fortisiem can ingest that data into its own CMDB to reduce discovery. As you can see from this large and growing list of organizations with current API integrations into Fortisiem, Fortisiem APIs make it easy to add context from hundreds of vendors. This level of integration is critical in an organization's ability to stay current with an ever-expanding threat landscape, as well as with an ever-changing ecosystem of network devices, systems, applications, and threat feed data. When a supported vulnerability scanner is integrated with Fortisiem, the vulnerabilities reported against an asset are reported in the CMDB. Fortisiem allows you to query and report vulnerabilities. Additionally, reported vulnerabilities are considered in the host risk score. The host risk score calculation provides an easy-to-use and prioritized view of the assets that Fortisiem believes to be at risk. The risk score is calculated based on a number of parameters, including the number of incidents reported against a device, and vulnerabilities reported against a device by a supported third-party vulnerability scanner. Fortisiem aids the security analyst by providing colored visualizations, red, amber, and green. Fortisiem calculates a risk score, which helps the security analyst to prioritize their work. You can also drill down to get more information by clicking on the incident. The optional FortiGuard Indicators of Compromise threat feed subscription delivers a regularly updated threat intelligence feed to Fortisiem. Correlated against logs, this IOC feed can help to rapidly identify logs indicating traffic from or to malicious IPs, domains, or URLs. Fortisiem makes multi-tenancy for enterprises easy, with the ability to create physical or logical reporting domains within the Fortisiem platform. This is very valuable for distributed enterprises or large enterprises in a single location. As an example, if you are a distributed enterprise, you may only want to see the alarms, alerts, and reports that are specific only to your location and not the entire distributed network. Another example is a large enterprise that may want to break up reporting domains by department or create separate reporting domains for the specific network elements associated with the PCI or HIPAA compliance domain. Fortisiem makes multi-tenancy easy for managed service providers, MSPs, with the ability to segment their individual customers and to create physical or logical reporting domains for other unique reporting needs within the Fortisiem platform. As an example, you may be an MSP on the East Coast and want to add security services to your customers, and you also want to expand your reach to the West Coast. With Fortisiem, you can create tenants for the East Coast and West Coast and further break those down into subtenants that are specific reporting domains for each of your customers based on their physical location. You can create additional tenants for your customers' unique reporting needs with separate domains, or tenants for PCI compliance monitoring and reporting, or even specific reports for a unique department such as HR. For the collection and analysis of a huge amount of security and IT information, it is critical to have a highly scalable architecture. Fortisiem has a highly scalable architecture. A multi-tier distributed approach allows organizations to easily and rapidly scale. Fortisiem supports both vertical and horizontal scaling and is able to collect, parse, normalize, index, and store hundreds of thousands of events per second. Vertical, start with a supervisor and add workers and collectors. Horizontal, add more workers and more collectors. Collectors are typically deployed close to the devices, and then they forward to workers. Workers pre-process the logs and forward to a supervisor layer, which is the front end for the big data event store, which includes the option to store an event database on a local disk, Elasticsearch, or proprietary NoSQL NFS. Elasticsearch is a distributed database that provides linearly scalable event insertion speed and query response time improvement. Fortisiem provides the Elasticsearch database option to store events and currently supports version 6.8 of Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch provides a true distributed, redundant, columnar database option for scale-out database performance at the expense of higher storage needs. For multi-tenant deployments, you can optionally store logs for each organization in a separate Elasticsearch index. This enables you to delete the logs for an organization if needed without affecting the performance of the system. Fortisiem supports both agent-based and agentless log collection from Windows servers. Agentless Windows log collection is a lower-cost solution that uses WMI to collect Windows event logs. The advanced Windows agent provides a higher performance and more feature-rich solution. You can mix and match agent-based and agentless servers in the same deployment. Fortisiem Linux Agent, which is a paid version, provides a scalable way to collect logs and other telemetry from Linux systems in a secure and optimized manner. After the Fortisiem CMDB baseline details are established, the organization can establish their alert and alarm criteria to automatically notify them of any changes against the thresholds they established. Fortisiem patented analytics are able to cross-correlate analytics traditionally from the Network Operations Center, or NOC, with data from the Security Operations Center, or SOC. With the ability to unify data points traditionally dispersed across a wide range of NOC and SOC tools and sources, Fortisiem helps organizations and users to monitor, cross-correlate, and analyze in real time numerous sources and types of event information. With this deeper context, organizations are more likely and able to identify threats and their root causes for faster remediation. These rich sources of data also provide the foundation for more comprehensive dashboards and reports. A key element of the Fortisiem architecture is the form factor. Fortisiem is available as a virtual appliance and also as a physical appliance. Fortisiem, as a virtual appliance, comes as a 64-bit hardened CentOS virtual machine that is pre-configured and pre-installed with Fortisiem. All you need to do is import the virtual appliance into your hypervisor environment. The Fortisiem VM is supported on numerous hypervisors, such as VMware vSphere, Microsoft Hyper-V, and others. Please see the Fortisiem datasheet for a full list. If your customer has moved their operations to the public cloud, the Fortisiem VM can be deployed on AWS or Azure. For a complete list, see the datasheet. Good job! You now understand Fortisiem and its features and benefits. Now, let's examine specific sales strategies and other Fortisiem-related sales enablement topics.